The Tromp family lived a seemingly ordinary life on their berry farm in Sylvan, a small town in Victoria, Australia. Mark and Jacoba Tromp ran the farm with the help of their 3 adult children, Rihanna, Mitchell, and Ella. They were a close family, kept mostly to themselves, and were known around their community as honest, hard-working people. But in August 2016, something changed. Without warning, the entire family vanished from their home, leaving behind their phones, passports, and nearly every trace of modern identity. What followed was a surreal and disturbing sequence of events that continues to confound the public and investigators alike. On Monday, the 29th of August, 2016, the Tromps abruptly fled their home. Mark and Jacoba, along with their 3 children, piled into a car and began what would soon be labeled as a paranoid road trip. No one outside the family knew where they were going or why they left. What made their sudden disappearance even more mysterious was the fact that all of them left their personal possessions behind: wallets, mobile phones, passports, and even credit cards. It appeared they had no plan and were deliberately trying not to be tracked. This was not a family going on vacation. This was a family fleeing from something or someone. The first signs that something was seriously wrong emerged shortly after their departure. Somewhere near Bathurst in New South Wales, Mitchell, the middle child and only son, decided he'd had enough. He separated from the rest of the family, who continued on without him. He later told police he didn't understand what was happening and didn't agree with the decision to flee. Mitchell took a train back to Melbourne and reported the bizarre behavior of his family to the police. Authorities now knew the family had vanished under strange circumstances, but things were about to get even stranger. Not long after Mitchell left, the 2 sisters Ella and Rihanna also abandoned the journey. The sisters left their parents somewhere near Goulburn. Ella eventually returned to Sylvan and reported her family missing. Rihanna, however, was found the next day in the back of a stranger's vehicle. She had apparently climbed into a ute pickup truck near a rural town and was described as being in a catatonic state. Police quickly transported her to a hospital for mental evaluation. Her condition was so extreme that she had to be sedated. Reports indicated she was confused, frightened, and barely able to speak. Meanwhile, the parents Mark and Jacoba were still missing. By this point, the case had become national news. The story of a whole family fleeing into the wilderness without phones or identification captured the imagination of the country. Media outlets scrambled to understand what had driven them to flee. Rumors ranged from financial trouble to cult involvement to shared delusions. None of the theories seemed to fit perfectly. There were no significant deaths, no signs of religious extremism, and no public mental health diagnoses. Jacoba was eventually found in a confused and disoriented state in Yass, several hundred kilometers from home. Like her daughter, she was taken into psychiatric care. Her condition also seemed to indicate an altered mental state: paranoia, confusion, and detachment from reality. With Jacoba now located and hospitalized, only one family member remained missing: the father, Mark Tromp. By now, the Tromp family's strange saga had taken on a life of its own. The public was fascinated and deeply unsettled by the case.
And hopefully some good comes out of this and my dad will come home and be safe and well.
Can you shine any light on or perhaps explain why he may not want to be found?
Because he's scared that people are after him, or he's not in a good state.
This today is a really unusual case, people. So that search has escalated to a cross-border situation, and New South Wales Police are helping us with that at the moment from their end as well. Missing from this house in Sylvan was a family of 5. Now I can cut to the chase and say that Mum has been located safe and well, and she's currently at the Yass Hospital.
Once found,
The idea that an entire family could descend into apparent madness overnight without drugs, a clear external threat, or warning signs seemed unfathomable. Speculation ran wild. Some believed the family was under surveillance or feared government interference. Others wondered if the Berry farm held secrets, perhaps a financial scandal or a cover-up. Some even pointed toward possible exposure to pesticides or environmental toxins on the farm that could have caused psychosis. But none of these theories could be proven. 6 days after the family first disappeared, Mark Tromp was finally found. He was discovered walking along a road near Wangaratta, dirty and disoriented, but otherwise physically unharmed. According to reports, he had been seen running from a local man earlier that day and had hidden in the bush for hours. Police found him after an extensive search. Like his wife and daughter, Mark displayed signs of paranoia and disconnection from reality. He too was taken to a hospital for evaluation, though he was later released without being charged. As quickly as the mystery had escalated, it seemed to unravel with almost no resolution. One by one, the Tromps returned home. Ella and Mitchell appeared the least affected by the experience, though both acknowledged they were disturbed by their parents' behavior. Rihanna and Jacoba remained under psychiatric care for a time before also returning to their normal lives.
Everyone's safe. Are you able to tell us sort of if there was anything that triggered this on the Monday? You mentioned, you sort of suggested there might have been something that sparked it all the other day.
Yeah, there's a few. There's nothing that I know for sure, but there's possible things. But I can't say at this stage because I don't know.
Mark was the last to return, maintaining a low profile and offering no clear explanation for what had occurred. The police investigation eventually concluded that the family had experienced a case of shared psychosis, a rare psychological phenomenon known as folie à plusieurs, or madness of many. In such cases, a dominant person, often a parent or partner, experiences a psychotic episode, which then induces delusional behavior in others around them. The delusion becomes contagious, spreading through the family unit. This explanation, while medically plausible, left the public with a sense of unease. Could an entire family simply break from reality without any drugs, trauma, or physical illness? And why did it happen so suddenly? Even more confounding was the lack of long-term consequences. No criminal charges were filed. No psychiatric diagnoses were made public. The family returned to their quiet life on the Berry farm and requested privacy. For the most part, the media respected that request, and the Tromps slowly faded from the public eye. But the questions never truly went away. Years later, the mystery endures. No official follow-up has provided further clarity. The family has maintained silence, never giving interviews or publishing a public statement about what happened during those strange days. Psychologists and law enforcement alike remain puzzled. Without cooperation from the Tromps themselves, the truth may never be fully known. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect is this: whatever happened to the Tromp family, it wasn't the result of a physical threat, a criminal act, or even a known disease. It was the result of fear. A fear that began somewhere perhaps in a conversation, a thought or a belief in, then spread like wildfire. That fear became so real, so overwhelming, that it drove 5 rational people to run from their lives. That is what makes this story so frightening. It's not about what they ran from. It's about what they ran toward. Nothing. The unknown. The vanishing of the Tromp family is not a tale of crime, horror, or conspiracy, though. Elements of each have been suggested. Instead, it's a psychological ghost story. A glimpse into a realm where reason fails and fear takes over. A place where a family disappears not from the face of the earth, but from the grasp of reality itself. And in the end, that may be the most terrifying vanishing of all.